Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome host of the Israeli Innovation Showcase, Brian Abrahams.
Thank you. Thank you. I know what you're thinking. This is a big night, right? Everybody's really excited. All of Policy Conference, you've been waiting for one special thing tonight. The third installment of the Israel Innovation Showcase. All right. I like it. We've got a great one for you to close out. Tel Aviv and Jerusalem are Israel's two biggest high-tech hubs. But tonight, we bring you a husband and wife team from a town not normally thought of as a hotbed of technology, Nazareth. Please welcome to the stage Reem and Emad Yunus.
Hey, Brian.
Welcome to the Policy Conference.
Thank you.
I'll bet we could fit a good chunk of Nazareth just in this hall.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's start first. How did the two of you meet?
Well, we met at the Technion. I was studying civil engineering. I met Imad. Imad was studying electrical engineering. We fell in love, and since then we had a very huge experience.
Very nice. You fell in love. We should get the kiss cam on the two of you. So, Emad, you're entrepreneurs together. Tell me, how did AlphaOmega start?
Well, this is a long story.
All right, we've got all night. Start at the beginning when you were a forceps baby. Give me the whole story.
Back in the '83, I finished my studies in the Technion as an electrical engineer. And at that time, it was very hard for me to find a job, as most of the high-tech industry was related to the military industry and the defense industry. So after something like 6-7 months of real looking for a job, I found at the end a work at the Technion, where I studied in the medical school. And there I got all my experience in electrophysiology, neuroscience, working with all kinds of scientists. After a while, I worked in a medical device company where I got more experience with commercial entities. And Reem and I decided that we want to start our own company because we live in the high-tech country with so many high-tech industry in Israel, but not in the Arab community. And our decision was to start high-tech in the Arab community. And this is what we started as a company.
Very nice. So you went and got venture seed capital?
Well, yeah, we had to use cards. We had to sell one. And when Imad's father was desperate and he thought that we're not changing our mind, so he gave us like 4 gold coins, like those. And this was our VC.
So that was your seed capital. Okay, so what did you go into business doing?
We are involved in recording the neural tissue and stimulating the neural tissue. So we are involved in a therapy called deep brain stimulation. In short, it's called DBS. So in DBS, this is the therapy in which we deal with patients who have neurological disorders.
Okay.
It's an electrode that we implant in the brain, and this electrode gives electrical pulses in a way that it deals with different symptoms of the disorder.
All right, we have to go slow here because this actually is brain surgery.
Absolutely.
So you've brought us some of your probes here. So these are the actual probes designed by your company that get inserted into the brain. Can you hold one up for me?
Yeah, well, these are the electrodes. If you look at the tip of the electrodes, through this tip, we do the recording of the neural activity of the brain.
And it's the very tip there that is actually taking the measurements?
Yeah, I mean, it's too thin. It's thinner than a human hair. It's like less than 50 microns thin. So we do record the neural activity from these electrodes and through to the machine.
Okay, so you're inserting these probes into the brain, and what is the neurosurgeon seeking to learn from those?
So what we do in the operation, we help the surgeon to identify the target in which he needs to do the implantation of this electrode that will give this electrical pulses. It's very important to be very accurate so that the patient, for example, let's say the patient could be a Parkinsonian patient, a patient with Parkinson's. So we need to be at the very exact point, at the very exact target, in a way that we get the best symptom relief and have no side effects for the patient.
So they're doing a surgery where the tissue they are operating on, it's not like a tumor or dead tissue. They actually, there's no visual indicator. So how do your probes explain to the surgeon where to go?
I mean, you can imagine as if you're going into Europe blindfolded, you don't see anything. So you enter from the sea, you start hearing Spanish, so you know you're in Spain. You continue, you start hearing French, so you know you're in France, till you start hearing German, and you know you are in Germany. So basically, this is the way that we lead the neurosurgeon inside the brain, by hearing the neural activity.
So different parts of the brain, different structures give off different signals.
Exactly.
And then you process that all through this is your main machine, the AlphaOmega. Yes. Tell us what we're seeing here on the screen.
So actually, this is an actual operation. These signals...
So this is a recording of an actual operation that your probes are using.
From brain of a patient. So here we are looking at 2 channels from 2 electrodes. So this is the raw signal that a physician, the neurosurgeon sees. What we are trying to do, or what we did, is we want to automate this process. So instead of for a physician to interpret the signal, we give him we do all kinds of algorithms to simplify and to allow visualization for the physician to see where is the best target to implant. So we produce these maps in which at the end we show the electrode here.
So on the left there, that's the actual depth the probes are going into the brain.
Exactly, and these colors tell him where's the best location to implant these electrodes in a way that he can predict the outcome of the patient after the operation.
So tell me, you mentioned earlier, what are some of the kinds of symptoms, syndromes that are treated with this deep brain stimulation?
So deep brain stimulation today treats Parkinson's disease, essential tremor, dystonia. And there are lots of clinical trials going on in America and in Europe and in other places in the world for different indications like depression, OCD, Alzheimer, and many other mental and neurological disorders.
So because you're working with research centers, you're also getting very cutting-edge new research for your company to use.
Absolutely. I mean, our company has been working very closely with scientists in Israel and outside Israel, and this is how we came up, to this very cutting-edge technology. We work very closely, especially with a professor from the Hebrew University. His name is Haggai Bergman, which we have been working with him since the beginning almost.
Can you tell me a story about a particular patient that was helped through the use of your probes?
Yeah, well, I think there was a video about 1 year ago. There was a pianist that she had Parkinson and she couldn't play the piano anymore. And when they operated her in Echilov in Tel Aviv, so the neurosurgeon got the keyboard inside the operation, and while he was operating on her, she was playing the piano.
Wow. And where in America are your systems being used?
Our systems are used in something like 100 institutions and more in the US. All the big university hospitals are using our equipment, like Mass General, like JHU, Johns Hopkins, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and UCSF, UCLA, and you name it.
Wow. And what % of the market are you in the US for this kind of work?
We are about 40%,
40%?
of the market in the USA.
So Reem, let me ask you, marriage is difficult enough and business partnership is difficult. How do you manage to combine both of those?
Oh, it's love, I guess. So, I mean, we do nurture our love we work together, but our offices are far away from each other. Lots of email, less meetings.
You sometimes email at the dinner table about work?
Yeah, we have board meetings on the table. But I think what holds us together is the mission that both Imad and me want to give a better place for our children.
And Imad, your company, you were the first high-tech company in Nazareth, but there's other companies now.
Yes.
In fact, Microsoft just announced a research
Absolutely.
center.
Yes.
So your headquarters in Nazareth, is your entire workforce Israeli Arabs?
Oh no, I mean we have employees from the diversity of Israel, I would say. So we have Jewish executives and engineers and employees, Arab, Druze, we have Muslims, we have Christians, we have Bedouin. So we have like the whole rainbow. And we are very proud about this. Like we're very proud that we are bringing, helping people with mental disorders to come back to society. And we are as proud by bringing people together, bringing people from different backgrounds, people that usually maybe sometimes fight in the streets, but in AlphaOmega, they work together for the same goal. And I think this can be done, not just in AlphaOmega, but in Nazareth and in Israel, and I think in the Middle East.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reem and Imad Yunus.
Thank you. Thank you.